Hey everyone, this is the Parent Whisperer. Today I'm going to be sitting with Virr, the artist, and we're going to talk about his experience starting out as a musician, writing his own music, how it helped him with his mental health, and how he inspires people today, how he continues to grow as an individual. We're going to talk a little bit about his shows, his upcoming work. It's just very inspiring. It's just a really fun conversation. So get with it. Let's go. Okay, so enjoy the show. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So just tell me a little bit about how you started with music and where you're from. Anything that you want us to know about you.
Okay, well, I got started with music when I was a kid. I used to listen to music all the time, and then I don't think I necessarily had the courage to sing in front of people when I was younger, so I kind of like kept it inside. And once I joined the military and I started doing very uncomfortable things for them, meaning like them telling me like, hey, we got a brief we got to do, and you got to do it in front of 50 people. And like it's like one of those things, the fight or flight thing. You either do it, you sink or swim. So I decided if I can allow myself to be that uncomfortable for the institution, I should allow myself to be just as uncomfortable with the things that I want to pursue. So I started doing open mics. I always felt like I needed help to do it. And then one day I was just like, you know what, I gotta help myself, so I'm gonna start doing it for me. So I started writing music, and I wrote my first song, and it was Sky. I went to Detroit, and
Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit. I was in Sterling Heights.
No way!
Yes.
That's where my cousins and family are from.
It was this guy on my ship when I lived in Bahrain. He was a producer, like on the side, and he didn't know I sing, and I didn't know he produced. And then after he left the ship, he was like, you need to come out to Detroit and let's do something. So I went out to Detroit. We went to the Motown Museum, and I was like, I want to make a song like this, like a Black Disney song, something that's kind of like
I love you.
rooted in Motown vibes, and that I could, you know, that I believe that would stand the test of time, and like you can listen to it over and over. So
Timeless music.
that's when I made Sky, and to this day it's still my grand finale song. Like the end of the show, I do Sky to remind people that, you know, even though there are obstacles in life and there are things that are gonna hold you back, you don't have to stop, because the sky is the limit and we own the sky. So that was kind of like my segue into doing music. It was because the military made me courageous enough to be courageous for myself.
It's always that you have to get over and challenge yourself to do hard things in order to come out with your dreams and what you want to do. And it's more than a hump. It's more than like one hard step. It's a series of multiple steps. It's a series of multiple times of being uncomfortable and being vulnerable in order to get past the pain. It's scary and it's extremely vulnerable, but then once you got past the pain point, you said, I'm going to, if I could do this for the military, then I can do this for all of my dreams. So for me as a therapist, I'm like thinking, okay, so there are like kids who would be inspired by that, you know? And it was like kind of forced on you or like pushed on you, you know, it was ride or die moment, you know? And so I don't think a lot of like kids these days have that piece of the motivation and the pain. They just can't get past it, you know?
I think also today's kids don't have the freedom to kind of like explore and find. I think they have so much accessibility to everything that it makes it kind of overwhelming for them, I think. Because back in the day, we only had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pop stars, and like those were the people, right? And everybody who was underground was just underground. So like they were kind of like an aim point to get to, and you could do that in like the background. But now it's so many avenues to get there now that like it could make people paralyzed, have decision paralysis on deciding what they're gonna do. So, but I also think that, like, how scary would it be if you lived your whole life knowing you had a talent or knowing you could do something and you died and you didn't do it and you didn't try? I think that is more scarier than attempting to do something in front of people who, honestly, what I've gathered, like, people aren't inherently wanting you to fail. There's not this, like, campaign to, like, oh, you're terrible. Like, if somebody's going to a show, they don't want it to be bad. They don't want to go in there and see somebody that sucks. Like, they want to go there and be like, wow, that was great. Like, that's what they want. So in reality, I think a lot of people that are pursuing something project things onto people that aren't necessarily theirs. They just believe that's what people are thinking. And people aren't necessarily thinking that. People are like, I want this person to be good. I'm gonna be sitting here for the next 30 minutes. I don't wanna, like, have somebody just up there cringing, like, for 30 minutes, right? So that would be my take on it. So
people want you to be successful and others to be successful. They don't want you to fail. And people think, oh, I don't think I'm gonna be good enough. But that person who put you here is thinking it does think you're good enough, and they want you to succeed. It's just like job interviews, or papers or presentations or school. They want you to be successful. They don't want you to fail. The story that we have in our head doesn't align with the story that is true. You know, that what is versus, or what if versus what is. It's an intervention we do. Like, okay, what if I get up there and freeze, and versus what is, like, what is actually happening is, like, I'm not freezing, or I've never froze. And even if I did freeze, I can still keep going, you know, like, but yeah, untapped potential is definitely tragic. Like, one of the biggest losses that we can have. And then, you know, you said something that really hit me, because I was like thinking, oh, you know, and kids these days, their interior self is like, oh, I don't have the courage to do this. But I think maybe I was like thinking about my childhood or myself, which is called countertransference as mental health therapists, putting yourself in the middle of it. So that was my perception growing up. But you're right, now that I think about it, I'm like doubling down on what you're saying, because a lot of the kids I see as a therapist are literally recording themselves on YouTube and putting it out there like nothing. They do have more courage. They do have a lot of, like, they're relentless, lots of fortitude, and they're talented. And so there is access, like you were saying. And when I was growing up, they were taking away the arts. There were, like, a lot of schools that were like, oh, we can't afford this anymore. We're removing art and music and drama and all that. And I don't know if it's still that way, but I went ahead and assumed that it was. So, but this is refreshing to hear what you have to say. I mean, I always love to hear what you have to say. You're like, it's so much fun. But you said you needed help, and I love that you asked for help, and you're like, oh, I felt like I needed help. I just love that you're so vulnerable in that way, and right now expressing that was okay with you to ask for help.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love that so much.
Schoolhouse rocks.
Yeah.
I got a song called Ask for Help.
Oh, shit.
And basically, yeah, I asked for help because I also didn't have a deep belief in myself, believe that I can do it on my own. So I asked people for help because I was too afraid to just try it. So I was like, if I'm gonna try it, I need to get somebody else to help me do it. And that turned out to not be the case. Like, now I write for other people, and I help people find their sound and their look and their aesthetic and stuff like that for their projects. And I'm good at that because I've done the work on me and know how it feels to be in a position where you just don't have any idea. And to give them guidance. And another thing when we were talking about when we were on the couch is like the whole competition situation where people feel like you're in a competition with somebody or this is competitive. Everybody I meet, if I have it, I'll give it to you. If I got like a producer, if I have a guitarist, whatever it is, connections, I'll give it to you because your connection isn't taken away from me.
Nothing can.
And
nothing
in
can
fact,
take away.
I think that it's helping me because maybe one day you grow up and be a superstar, like big, and you're like, you know what? I remember when Torrance or Virr, he, did this. You're like, I wonder if he's still doing music. I want him to open up for me in this tour or something like that. And I think that that doesn't fuel me, but that's an addition to just being a person that is confident in what you do and know that you only possess that. So like I said, anybody who needs something from me to help further themselves in what they want to do, I'm always down to help them do that.
You are extremely magnetic. You have magnetic energy, you have magnetic love, you're very generous with your time and expertise and things like that. And I've seen crowds around you and a lot of friends and the welcoming spirit and not intimidated by anyone, but like strong and grounded in who you are. And very proper Southern boy, very impressive, way nicer than I am. Sometimes I am just, you're just so kind. But like that confidence and that, I don't know, that feeling of I am not intimidated by anyone and I care about other people as much as I can give is sort of like, to me, reaching a level of Buddha's highest level of consciousness. It returns back to you, and it's giving is investing kind of thing.
It is.
But loving, like investing, like loving people and caring about them is investing in them. And then, so we do need each other. We need each other, and so, that's all I wanted to say about that. But I just think that you're very magnetic.
Thank you for saying that. I do try to make my surroundings, the people around me, feel good and feel welcome because I think that that's important for people to feel. I think people should feel loved and cared about by their friends, by their families, and even if you are the chosen family.
Chosen family, yeah.
Chosen family.
You're part of my chosen family.
You're part of my chosen family. You come to the Christmas and the Thanksgiving stuff.
I know.
But I think anybody in your orbit should be feeling loved and cared about you. And I don't think that's something that should be forced or anything. It just should come natural.
Yeah.
And as it does, like anybody that I meet and like welcome them to my circle or my friends, like they have to be respectful to themselves, respectful to the people around me, and then it works. But the minute, I feel like disrespect or I feel like you're taken away from it, or making it toxic, then you gotta go.
Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah, and
I was there.
They're no longer around.
It was like once, but
And just get out of here.
Here's the boot. But it's, one of the first things I ever told you is like, I feel so safe around you, because of that, like that masculine protective nature, for everyone around you. So it's really cool. So maybe we don't have to have people, but oh my God, what around us through our experience. But how much more fun and wonderful and enriching is it when you do have the right people around you, and how you reciprocate that type of support and love and energy. It's so much more fun, and it's such a pity when, I don't know, kids or people in general aren't able to give that to each other, or they don't come from a family who does that for them, or I think your personality is like set apart because you didn't have it, or I don't know like if you did or not, or how much people supported you, especially with your music and singing. You do it anyway.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of personalities or people who have that personality. It's very much, maybe I'm cynical, but what's in it for me attitude, you know?
Yeah, I just think that like no matter what, it's these kids growing up these days, they have to do more work to find themselves, because it's a juxtaposition, because it's like they have all this information, but they still, it makes them more confused about who they are, what they want to do. And we just got to give them the space to find that out and support them, and you know, especially the things they want to do, they want to attempt, because that's important, to not shoot that down or to not disparage them from wanting to try that, because leaning into that may not be what they want, but it's going to give them courage and the confidence to try something else. I'm 37 years old, and I have people that are in my band. My dancers, they're in their 20s, early 20s. Some of my bandmates are in their 20s, and they have the freedom of expression. When we're doing shows and stuff, I'm like, all right, well, what do y'all want to do? What do y'all think about this? What do you think about that? You know, to keep them included, keep them involved with what's going on. And some of them are singers too, so they also are studying, they're watching me, they're seeing what I do, so they can apply that to themselves. And that's all I could hope for, is to be an example of a person that is unrelenting on pursuing something that I desire, something that I'm passionate about, and to give that to other people. And I know people that are my age that still don't have that confidence or that urge to do the things that they want, because they're still so bogged down. They're bogged down with all these external factors that are honestly don't matter. They don't matter.
They don't matter.
And at the end of the day, the older you get, you start to see it's like none of that stuff matters.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
And
it's not even real. Like, that's how much you invest in it. This stuff that you're bogged down with. Like, it makes you off task, confused, caught up, and it's not even important who said what about who, or whatever the side talk is, or the things that didn't happen that you wanted to happen. You move on. You got to move on fast. And you have to stay in the present moment and then invest in the here and now, where all your power is, instead of thinking about the past or the future.
I talk to my friend all the time, and I tell her what the past is like, especially when it comes to like traumatic events and like things like that. I tell her, I said, the past is like a black hole. The closer you get to it, the more it can suck you in. So the further you get away from a black hole, the further you're away from that gravitational pull in which it has. The only way you get stuck is if you stay there. You have to keep moving, and you move away from that, and it'll always be, the black hole will always be there. But the further you go away, it won't even seem like it exists anymore. So I tell people, you have to accept, make peace with whatever it is, and then little by little, move on and get out of that area.
Yeah. It takes a little practice sometimes, but you can move on from it. And then there's this other part that's the future, and there is a pull in that way too. But if you have two things pulling you at each, because you're just the imagery that you just put in my head. I see a black hole in the back, a black hole in the front, and then you as the neutral piece and living in that moment, you know. And it's hard because, you know, there's so much opposition, and you could so easily think about what that person thinks about you or whatever. You could so easily think like, when is this gonna happen, you know, or when am I gonna strike it rich, or when is my housekeeper gonna actually get here, you know. Anyway, so like, then you're like, no, I'm gonna stay here. This is where my power is. This is what makes me happy. Staying in the present moment. What can I do in the here and now to get me to my goals and things like that? Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think that things are hard. I say,
oh my God, I love you.
It's like,
I love you.
everything's
I love
so
you.
hard. I can't do this. And obviously, the way you speak to yourself is indicative to how things are going to happen. But at the same time, I've always thought that nothing is hard. Everything requires work. Everything takes work.
Yes.
And with a little dose of willpower.
Yes.
And, you know, because I think, you're not always gonna be motivated to do something. And when the motivation slips, the willpower comes in to get you across the finish line. So,
Slow clap. Slow clap. Bravo.
but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
that's just something that I think that like once you start to recognize that this impossible task is not impossible. It's like the analogy, how do you eat an elephant? You bite it one piece at a time.
Yeah.
So you take chunks, and before you know it, like half of it's gone, and you're able to finish it because it's like, oh wow, I've done all this, and you know, and
Right.
and it becomes easier
Yeah.
because you're doing the work,
Yeah.
and you're not focused on, you know, all the extra stuff. You're just focused
What
on
haven't I done? I have so much
Yeah.
left. All this stuff I have left to do. You can like talk yourself out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can talk yourself out of almost anything.
Yeah.
And just as that voice comes in, you got to have another voice that I call the ant killer.
Okay, let's go.
And the ant killer is you killing automatic negative thoughts. So,
ants, baby.
You have
Oh my God. Yes.
you take that, you kill the ants, and you replace that with something that's going to be in line with what you're doing. Instead of having an automatic negative thought, maybe have an automatic positive thought. You know, what if this goes like amazing?
Yeah.
You know, and you feel that, you put yourself in that space, you imagine yourself receiving that award, you imagine yourself getting that job promotion, and you have to almost be delusional because you gotta feel that in order for that to come. That's just how
Yes.
the universe
Yes.
works. Things flow, and when you get into that flow state, a lot of people like to, because it's happening, they recognize that it's happening, and now you want to take control of it. When you're in a flow state, when you're in a flow state, you just flow. You allow yourself to do it.
It's organic.
But
exactly.
once you start to recognize that I'm in this flow state, like things are going good, your mind starts changing things.
You're no longer in your flow state.
You're not in the flow state.
And it's interrupted, and now you're thinking about something else, so your flow state is taken away from you.
Yeah.
It's the worst
And
feeling.
often, when I'm in a flow state, I be hoping that I'm not recognizing that I'm in it because
Yes,
I just want to keep going. Because the minute, like, it's natural for us to want to control things.
Yeah.
Especially as, you know, adults. We saw what happened when we didn't have control as children and what happened
Yeah.
then. And we can kind of use that as like a block from us allowing ourselves to be great because of things that we experienced before. But we don't have to. We can be in that state, feel comfortable and safe in it, and keep on
Yeah.
flowing, keep on moving.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing too for people to recognize when we are doing the work, not to get distracted and get too focused on too many things because that's going to take you out of the flow state.
And the flow state is where your highest level of happiness, and not just happiness, but artistic value and focus, and
You're free
yeah, there
when
you
you
go.
allow yourself to
Liberated. Surrender.
to-
That's like my favorite word ever.
surrender to what it is that you're wanting to do, whether that's save money, whether that's get an album contract, or whether that's, you know, buying a home. Like, you set your intentions, you throw them out there, and you go to it. That's it. You just go to it.
You just do it, and then like it comes to you a lot of the time.
It
like,
does.
Yeah.
Because you've already said that you wanted it. The universe is going to provide that. You just got to keep on going.
Yeah.
But like, again, sometimes we forget that we asked for it. So then we ask again, and then we're bugging, and then like, now we're out of it.
This segment is called Nolan's Questions.
Okay.
Okay.
So my first one is, if you were able to switch your voice with any celebrity for a week, who are you picking?
I feel like you'd be like no one.
Whitney Houston, is
yeah,
it dead or alive? What?
Anybody.
Like anyone.
Yeah,
Oh,
shoot, I'm
Whitney.
trying to, Whitney Houston.
In the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
That would be it. That's a full stop.
With me, Michael Jackson, maybe. Someone who would dance and sing.
Would you rather have a good-looking outfit but bad shoes, or good-looking shoes and bad outfit?
Good looking outfit, bad shoes.
Same, because you could just throw them off.
Or like take pictures from the ankles up.
Yes.
If you're going to a gas station with any budget, what are your 3 top snacks?
Oh yeah, I got this one. You go first.
You go first, cause gas station?
Gummy bears, Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and Coke. Because Flamin' Hot Cheetos and Coke go really well together. And when I'm done with my salty snack, I go to my sweet snack, and then I'm done for the day. He doesn't eat gas stations.
Well, actually,
yeah.
I probably would get protein shake, gummy bears, and a Gatorade Zero. And protein because I probably didn't eat, and the Gatorade Zero is because I try to watch my sugar, but I'm just gonna mess that all up by eating some gummy bears. So that's why I would do that.
Would you rather have spaghetti for hair or syrup for sweat?
Whoa, spaghetti for hair or syrup for sweat?
Syrup, I guess, because then
I mean,
I'd be sweet all the time.
But syrup would be like sticky all the time. I
and
may
I
have
do
to get
sweat
the,
a lot.
Yeah, well, going to the gym, imagine like
Oh my
just being all sweaty with like syrup.
But like imagine
sticky.
then you'd have to go bald with spaghetti hair.
Well, I would do spaghetti hair. I guess I would do spaghetti hair.
I also want to ask you about where you perform, how people can find you.
Yeah.
I highly freaking recommend. All your kids can listen to him. It's good music. It's self-written. You write all your own music, the words and the melody, and it's so fun to dance to, and it's all-encompassing. So
you guys can find me on Spotify, and that's VIRR. I'm on Instagram at VIR_official. I have a YouTube channel, and that's also VIRR official, Virr official. At this current moment, I don't have any shows coming up, but I have applied to a few festivals, so cross your fingers for that. I do have a new single coming out on February 27th, and it's called 10 Toes Down, and it's just a song about, you know, standing on business, doing what you said you was gonna do.
That's my guy.
And not allowing people to stop you from doing that. So that's pretty much what I got going on right now. And I am the Parent Whisperer. You can find me on Instagram at the Parent Whisperer, and also on YouTube, Yasmin the Parent Whisperer. And make sure to comment, like, add me to your favorite channels, because I want to help you and your family and your children. And please reach out with questions.